Hello everyone, welcome to Trio Planet. Another Wednesday, another Mandalorian review, and quite a special Mandalorian review this week. It is Season 3, Episode 8, Chapter 24, The Return. I'm joined by Jordan, as always, for this review.
Hey everybody.
And yeah, it's certainly one of those moments, isn't it, Jordan? It's certainly one of those moments that makes you understand why Star Wars is still a very special franchise.
Very close and very close to our hearts.
Exactly. But as always, I will do my little breakdown of what happens in the episode before me and Jordan inevitably rabbit on for 45 minutes about how this episode is the greatest piece of Star Wars writing since Episode 7 of The Mandalorian, not the movie, not the sequel. Sequels suck. Remember that, guys. Sequels suck. This episode opens up almost directly after Episode 7. Of course, in that episode, Paz Vizsla met his demise at the hands of 3 Praetorian guards. But we open on Axe Wolves, or Wolves, I don't know how to say his name, I think it's Wolves, flying directly up somehow with his jetpack, breaking the upper atmosphere, getting told by Bo-Katan that the Imperial base is actually on Mandalore, and that they're going to try and destroy the fleet, and that they should use the capital ship that they have as a distraction while the landing party heads down and assists them on the ground. Meanwhile, Din is getting carried away by 2 Mandalorian Imperial troopers. And probably one of the cooler fight scenes in the show happens. Din takes down both of them with the help, of course, of a little green friend. Grogu appears and hits the no button, like he loved to do in the previous episode. And Mando decides that it is vital that him and Grogu take out Gideon, so that the Mandalorians are safe, and basically for revenge, I think. And I think just Din doesn't like Moff Gideon. So that basically begins the arc of this episode, which is sort of one long action sequence. In a way, there's not much story. They're not really developing any plots here. They're sort of giving you the payoff of this season, which was building up a Mandalorian army and trying to retake their home planet. So obviously, Din gets the help of R5, who is planetside, to get the schematics to Moff Gideon's headquarters. Obviously, Din can't navigate this Imperial complex on his own, so he needs to know where Moff Gideon's communication suite is. They get the location, and basically, Din goes on like a murder spree, I guess. We'll call it a murder spree. He kills, like, how many is it? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I believe, in the Red Hallway of Death. But after Axe Wolves breaks atmosphere, he gets onto the Dreadnought in a pretty cool scene where he directly flies onto it using the jetpack. It was really cool. And he goes to the bridge and he tells everyone to evacuate to the transports in another epic scene where they fly off of the Dreadnought and directly into the back of the transport ships. Again, pretty badass. They've got a thing for using the jetpacks in a badass way. So yeah, he decides he's staying behind, and the ship basically gets attacked by TIE interceptors and bombers, and it's not in a great place. For some reason, shields don't exist on this ship. They just there's no actual damage, is there, Jordan? No. They don't blast him for a few minutes and you see the shield. They sort of just immediately start damaging it, which was a bit weird. But Din does his little fight sequence with R5 assisting. R5's getting annoyed by some mouse droids, which Jordan aptly changed the name to Rat Droid because they're a bunch of fucking rats.
That's what I've always like kind of known them as. Is like
They're mouse droids, man.
mouse droids, but to me, they're fucking
They're
rat
just
droids.
rats. They make too much noise. But after Din murders a room of Imperial super commandos, he enters a room full of Bacta tanks and cloning tanks. And inside, in one of the creepiest scenes in Star Wars, is just way too much Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, it's just all clones of Giancarlo Esposito.
It's just way too much of Giancarlo Esposito. And Grogu's looking at one of them, and the bastard opens his eyes, and Grogu gets so scared that you can see the fear response in IG-12's mechanical suit. But Din destroys them in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, and Moff Gideon wasn't very too happy about that.
No, he wasn't. But before we get to see that, a bunch of the Mandalorians have made a sort of escape from the base to wait for reinforcements. You know, the reinforcements that are coming down now that Axe Woves has heroically sacrificed himself because he definitely doesn't survive the crashing Star Destroyer. And they're inside an underground cave, which is actually above ground, because technically, when the Empire bombed the planet, the ground became underground, in a way.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And there's a bunch of greenery. There's actual plants on Mandalore, which we haven't seen in live action or animation.
No, it's
You've always seen Mandalore as sort of a barren planet with domed cities.
with cities and shit. So it's cool to see. It says the plants are like indigenous to Mandalore, but because of like the cities and that, obviously they didn't have room to grow. So
and because of all the fighting that Mandalorians did.
So basically, because of Mandalore being sieged, it was able to grow.
But after they have that little revelation, we get a little comm over the radio, don't we, Jordan? And the armorer lets Bo-Katan know that her reinforcements have arrived, and the survivors basically jetpack out of the cave, and you get another pretty cool scene where you're looking down towards the planet, and you're seeing the jetpacks go past of the survivors and followed by the ships, and it's really cool. But the armorer jumps out with a bunch of Mandalorians, and they all fly with Bo-Katan, who has drawn the Darksaber, into the Imperial base in one of the cooler fight scenes. It's a very unique fight scene.
It is really cool for the fact that we just see her using it in the air, like aerial battle with Mandalorians is so fucking cool.
Yeah, we don't see people in the air as often as we do like ships.
Yeah, ship battles are fucking cool, but
there's something different about it.
There's just something different.
A lightsaber wielding Mandalorian just cutting people in half.
I think it's a lot funnier when Armorer shows up.
Oh, when the armorer is just thawing people with her hammer.
Yeah, the armorer shows up with everybody, and then
she doesn't have a gun.
She doesn't have a gun, or she's just fucking got a very small jetpack.
She's got 0 range, and the only thing she's carrying is her forging mallet. It shows
how badass she is.
And she's literally just like absolutely bashing these people on the head with this hammer. And I'm sort of sat there going, this woman, you don't want to fight her because
you don't want to mess with her. You really don't want to mess with her.
But as they're entering their fight, Din is entering Moff Gideon's communication room, and Gideon gives a rousing little speech towards him about how he wanted to basically create the perfect soldier, which is him, with the Force, and how he was isolating the trait that gives people access to the Force.
So he was basically trying to isolate midichlorians.
Basically. But I think
I don't think non-Jedis know what midichlorians really are.
Yeah, he sort of just says, I was trying to isolate whatever lets them use the Force to give it to me, because it's the one thing I never had, even though there's a couple of other things he never had, like sanity. I've thought about that joke for years to use on Moff Gideon, and now it feels like the right time.
That was good.
But he delivers this speech, and it's funny as funny as anything.
It's like he's just had his kids killed.
It's not like he's had his kids killed. It's like do you know, like when a toddler has a toy that they really like that gets broken?
Yeah.
And he's just sat there crying about it. And I was sat there and I was like, okay, fair enough.
You killed them!
So Din and Gideon start fighting like the toddlers, having a little like scrapping playground. But because Gideon can't play fair, he basically like summons 3 Praetorian guards back, and they appear. And
you've got to admit, the Praetorian guards had a bad rap in the trilogy. They have basically brought them into this show to just show how fucking badass they actually are.
In less screen time, they have done more.
They've done more than they did the entire fucking trilogy.
The only thing they did in the last trilogy was get their ass handed to them by Kylo Ren and Rey.
Yeah, exactly.
But Din's basically getting the Paz Vizsla treatment at this point.
Yeah, we thought he was gonna fucking die. We actually thought he was dead. It's
looking not great, but Grogu comes out and it starts spamming that no button.
No.
Just no. And so the Praetorian Guard's like, hang on a second, this child's getting on my nerves. And so they start chasing Grogu. So they're separated, and Din just stops focusing on Gideon and starts trying to get to Grogu. But he can't. The IG-11 or IG-12 droid movement thing, little like war suit, gets destroyed by them, and Grogu starts jumping across lighting stands that are like suspended in the air.
Yeah.
Or like, are they like the projectors for like the holographic screens?
I think it is for the holographic screens. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, he starts jumping around them, just basically annoying the Praetorian guards.
Yeah, they were not happy.
You get a massive aerial fight scene. I can't describe half the stuff that happened because it's that chaotic.
It all happened in it. It was all chaotic to the point where I was like, I can't even fucking keep up with this. It was so fucking cool.
But the next like big thing that sort of happens is Grogu is actually caught by the Praetorians. A part that he's on gets cut, and he falls to the ground and gets pinned by a piece of the metal. Bo-Katan comes out of not nowhere. We sort of see her realize Din needs help and go to help him. But she flies down and she kicks Moff Gideon, and she's like, "Go get your kid. I'll handle Gideon." Spoiler alert, she doesn't handle Gideon at all. She sort of struggles quite a bit. So they start having the redemption duel, Gideon and Bo-Katan. And it's pretty epic, I'll be honest. Gideon's got like this you remember the Magna Guards from Clone Wars? He's got like that Magna Guard staff with like the electricity, and they're having their little duel. And Gideon's like taunting her, being like, "What will it be this time, Lady Kryze? Will it be
now
surrender?"
We're going to get to the very controversial part that everybody's probably going to say is controversial.
No, we're not. Not yet.
Oh, not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
We're what I just said.
Just a little bit away from there. Din and Grogu fight the Praetorian Guards. That's what happens next. And Din is struggling. Let's be honest. Din is struggling against these guards. But he's got an advantage that Paz Vizsla didn't have, which is Grogu's got the Force, and Grogu wants to keep Din alive. And so Grogu basically trolls the Praetorian Guards by pushing them around and like disarming them.
In a show that's not about the Jedi, it has one of the best Jedi.
Grogu basically sits there for like 5 minutes, and instead of actually doing something to help Din, like force pushing one of them into a wall to knock them out, he's like pushing their weapon to the side. Yeah. He's like making them stumble.
He doesn't know the best cause of action, so he's just doing whatever he feels like he should do.
But as Din finishes his battle with the Praetorian Guards and is like, "Thanks, kid," Axe Woves is entering atmosphere. on the Star Destroyer, and he's telling everyone to evacuate the area because he's going to suicide kamikaze style. Bo-Katan seems uninterested by this fact, however, and continues to fight Moff Gideon, resulting in Moff Gideon grabbing her hand, which is holding the Darksaber, and crushing the Darksaber.
The Darksaber is no more.
We no longer have a Darksaber.
Unless they can find a way to rebuild it.
Unless Grogu fixes it. Grogu can fix it.
Maybe. Maybe since we're going to be getting this live action movie with all the TV shows that Dave Filoni is doing, I'm guessing somehow someone in that. I'm hoping Luke's in it. I'm hoping Luke's going to be in this crossover. And I can kind of see them doing a thing where Bo-Katan needs the Darksaber, so they decide to rebuild it for her. Maybe. Well,
I mean, I think the
right. What's the Darksaber made of? Is it actually made of Beskar?
It has Beskar in it and on it, but it isn't fully Beskar.
What if they somehow find a way to make it out of Beskar?
They wouldn't, because Beskar is never used to make weapons, even though whistling birds are made of Beskar and are weapons. It's sort of a contradiction that has been pointed out multiple times. The armorer took Din's Beskar staff, melted it down because Beskar isn't supposed to be weapons, yet she keeps supplying him with whistling birds, which are made of Beskar.
Maybe whistling birds are the exception.
But I think the destruction of the Darksaber is less of a we're destroying this weapon because it needs to be rebuilt, and more of a we're destroying this weapon because we're sort of wanting to show that she doesn't need it to rule.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get past the whole tradition of the Darksaber being the only thing that lets you rule Mandalore.
And also, it sort of leaves the opportunity for Grogu to take the Darksaber crystal and make his own lightsaber. Sorry.
It's also but that means you have a black one.
I mean, let's be honest, Jordan. Imagine Grogu with a black lightsaber.
Yeah, that'd be
sold, aren't you?
Right.
I'm
sold.
But everyone needs to remember this is all speculation. This is all theory. But remember that theory's got no place in Star Wars, especially Star Wars theory.
I was waiting. I've been waiting this entire fucking time for that.
That's so direct as well. I mentioned him by name.
You mentioned him by name.
Fuck you, Star Wars theory.
Oh, the dude. Give him the 2 videos that he uploaded, not 2 days ago. Yeah, petty, fucking petty.
Anyway, the fight continues because Din and Bo-Katan don't want to let Moff Gideon die in peace. And so they bully this old man for about 2 minutes before an explosion happens as the cruiser of the ship, the flagship, crashes into the base and causes a massive explosion. And Moff Gideon is incinerated.
He even allows it to happen. He just opens his arms and is like, "Take me."
He screams as well. he sort of opens his arms and does the big ah.
Yeah,
it's
he
really
just
cool.
lets it happen. I was thinking, maybe he's got a clone out there that will just take over. Maybe he did let one out just in case.
Yeah.
So I feel like he would have had contingencies.
But incineration doesn't work so well for Bo-Katan and Din Djarin, however, because they have a thing called a Grogu. And Grogu makes a force shield around them, and the fire goes around them, and it's so fucking badass. And there is a lot of fire.
Saw that happen. There was so much fucking fire, and
Bo-Katan looks so confused.
She looked at him. She looked down at him like...
Din's sort of just looking ahead at this inferno.
Din's used to it.
He's just looking at this inferno coming toward it, and Bo-Katan's got her shield out still, and she just sort of goes, "Motherfucker, how are you doing that?"
She knows he's got the force, but she doesn't know how powerful he actually is.
So yeah, they survive, and Grogu has a well-deserved little sit-down because
If you
creating a
guys don't
force
know,
barrier is a little bit.
he gets tired easy.
I mean,
we've seen him pass out and everything, but he's had training from Luke to the point where he's not going to pass out, but he does still get tired.
he sort of used the force a lot up to that point. Like he
Yeah.
was jumping around a lot.
So
he was trolling
definitely...
Gideon, and he was trolling the Praetorian guards with the force. Like he knocked Gideon's weapon away and then knocked Gideon back.
Yeah,
So like
he would
he
have
was
got
using
tired.
the force a lot.
He
And
would
then
have got
to
tired a lot.
create a force barrier around 3 people, big enough for 3 people to fit in, right? Would be like even Anakin would struggle to hold. Like Anakin did struggle to hold that in the Clone Wars. Anakin nearly died because of it.
Yeah.
But after that, we open in the royal pools, the mines of Mandalore, where Din went in the second episode. First episode, second episode, one of the episodes.
I think it was second.
And he Ragnar's getting a proper blessing this time, a proper creed, because he's getting the actual water from the mine put onto his helmet this time. Also, big up Ragnar, carrying the name Vizsla forward. Can't wait to see his character development next season.
Vizsla Ragnar.
But he's not the only one getting some special treatment, because Din's brought little Grogu and basically demands that the Armourer give him the creed, and the Armourer's like, sorry, can't do that.
He has no...
He's not old enough, he can't speak. And Din's like, what if his parent did it? And she's like, bitch, his parents are so far away or are dead.
But
and
his
then
dad's
Din's like...
there.
And Din stands there, and Din's like, I'll adopt him. And the Armourer goes, this is the more fucking way. And Din goes, you're damn right, this is the way. And so Grogu is now Din Grogu.
Din Grogu.
Din is officially the son of Din Djarin.
Yeah.
Or Grogu is now the son of Din Djarin. Din Grogu is now the son of Din Djarin. So it's all very complicated.
It's complicated because we didn't know what how the names worked.
I believe that for Grogu's sake, because he's being adopted, Grogu is his name and Din is the surname, but I believe Mandalorians that are adopted put the name as a prefix instead of a suffix.
Yeah.
So it goes before the name, so it's Din Grogu instead of Grogu Din.
Yeah.
So like Din Djarin was adopted.
Yeah.
Like the Armourer even says to him, like your mentor did for you.
Mm.
So Din is technically an adopted child.
So his name...
Din Grogu.
So
like
his
Bo-Katan.
name was... Yeah.
Like Bo-Katan doesn't have Kryze Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan is Bo-Katan Kryze.
Yeah.
And Paz Vizsla and not Vizsla Paz.
Mm.
So stuff like that. So Din, I don't think Din is his first name.
No.
I think it's the surname of the clan that he was adopted into. And I believe if he had a legitimate child, it'd be the child's name, then Din.
Mm.
So it'd be, Alex Din or whatever.
So if it's a legitimate child, they get a normal name.
I believe so.
But if
I believe
it's
that
a foundling, it's different.
That would make sense, because otherwise, why is Bo-Katan Kryze? Bo-Katan Kryze and not Kryze Bo-Katan.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
And I think it's cool for culture-wise as well, because it allows you to know who is
a foundling
adopted.
and who isn't.
Yeah. So yeah, Din is officially the dad of Grogu. Big up Din. And he decides that he's going to take Grogu on a little field trip. But before he does, almost missed this one. Grogu does a little bit of soul searching inside the mines, the little lake below. He senses something down there, and he sort of connects with the mythosaur down there. Foreshadowing, huh? Grogu gonna tame that mythosaur? Anyway, the Mandalorians reignite the massive furnace, the actual forge of Mandalore, which I thought was pretty cool. And they do the little bit, the chant for Mandalore, for Mandalore, for Mandalore. Very much reminiscent of the chant for the Empire, or long live the Empire. But then Din goes to the unspecified Paradise planet, where Captain something, the New Republic guy, is, and obviously you get another Dave Filoni cameo because it's him. He wears a cowboy hat.
Yeah, you know it's him 'cause he's got a cowboy on.
And Din makes a proposition to this New Republic captain that they can't control the Outer Rim, they can't patrol it, so he'll work for them on a case-by-case basis, and all he needs from them is a down payment. And the down payment is a IG unit headpiece that Grogu has noticed and has been like, look, Dad, I assume he's saying Dad now all the time, because, adopted. But he gives it to him, and we actually end up back on Navarro, where Din is given a cabin by Grief Karga at the edge of town, and they shake hands, and then Babu Frick and all of his people are sort of looking very happy with themselves, and IG-11 returns. Actually, IG-11, not like some thing. He identifies himself as IG-11. The new Marshal of Navarro, which I think is fucking awesome because I love IG-11. And we end sort of oddly, actually, for the Mandalorian. Now that I think about it, rather peacefully. Din is outside his new house on Navarro. Grogu's sat torturing a little frog because that's what Grogu does, and we get Looney Tunes. They sort of shot glass. They put us in like a little thing, and it closes in on Grogu, and then it fully closes. And me and John were sat there in disbelief, sort of like, have they really just ended it like that?
They really ended it like that. A Looney Tunes ending.
Also, before we actually get into reviewing it and not breaking it down, it should be noted that Din has had a costume change. Din no longer has his blaster. No. Which, give me a second, because I do want to correctly identify the blaster, because it is really cool. Mandalorian blaster. Not that one. IB-94 blaster pistol. Is that it? Yes. The Mandalorian's IB-94 blaster pistol, as it is referred to by the Star Wars wiki. He no longer has that. It is not the weapon he now wields. Din has commandeered 2 of the blaster pistols from the Imperials and has placed it within his waistband in sort of a, I believe it's a quick draw stance. So they're sort of they're on his waist and not on his hip. So he can draw one by looping it into his hand, or he can draw both by akimboing them. But I thought it was worth mentioning he no longer has that iconic pistol, and it is now 2 standard issue Imperial blasters. That still looked pretty cool. I won't lie; they sort of match his outfit a little bit better. But yeah. Anyway, what do you think, Jordan?
Man, that was an episode. That was an episode.
Longest, but definitely okay.
I'm really fucking impressed that, like me and you said, this episode, this season's definitely got to be the best so far.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's the best. I'd say it's got some of the best moments for Mandalorian culture. But as a whole, I think season 2 is still the best in terms of story.
Yeah.
But who knows? Season 4 might set up something that's fantastic. Depends when they announce it. If I've got to wait 2 years for Mandalorian season 4, I'm gonna be a bit upset. Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau.
I'm hoping we get another season before the film comes out.
I'm hoping we get Ahsoka season 1, and then shortly after they announce Mando season 4 is happening, by the way, and it's happening 2024.
I don't think we'll get another season of Book of Boba Fett.
No, I don't think so.
I think that was a 1-season show just to show us where he is.
Yeah.
And then,
who knows?
And then at some
they might double down.
and then at some point we'll end up, they'll end up thinking. I know
Because one of
because at the minute Star Wars is staying alive through these shows,
and Jon Favreau has said that he has already written or is already in the process of writing Mando season 4,
yeah,
which he said that I believe around 6 months ago, which means he's either very close to finishing the writing or has already finished and they've
I'm
already
guessing
started.
that season will probably lead into the movie. It'll lead into the movie, more than likely, given the fact that Dave Filoni is directing it. And basically, yeah, Dave Filoni will probably have to work with Jon Favreau to find a way. Obviously, they'll have to work together to find a way how to end the show on the note of there's going to be a movie.
I mean, they could always end it by Ahsoka coming and being like, there's a
Yeah.
threat that needs to be dealt with.
Well, Ahsoka, people are still wanting Ahsoka season 2.
Even though season 1 hasn't come out yet,
Yes.
we don't know how good that show actually is.
Yeah, so me and Will obviously will be looking into we'll be doing that. We'll be reviewing that, and we're reviewing Secret Invasion in June. But yeah, I think this episode was fantastic. I really enjoyed this episode.
I think it had some of the coolest
This
moments.
episode
It sort
alone,
of had the like Luke thing.
yeah. What would you rate? I want to know what you rate, just to see.
I'd give it like a 9.6, 9.8 out of 10.
Yeah,
It's a very, very, very good episode.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go the same way.
Massive props to Rick Famuyiwa.
9.5 to a 10 at least is how I'd do it.
Good old Rick Famuyiwa. He impressed us last week with Chapter 23, The Spies, and he has come in and knocked it out the park yet again with Chapter 24, The Return. And I think it goes to show that the best director, I think, for Mando is definitely Bryce Dallas Howard. She's delivered a lot of extremely good episodes.
Yeah, she's one of the best directors of this show.
For these finales, like Rick Famuyiwa just hit the nail on the head with Chapter 23 being like a setup and 24 being a payoff. And 24 being a payoff in a really good way. Like, Gideon dies. Like, that is ballsy. And to have him die in such a way where he's getting incinerated, that's a ballsy thing to have to direct. And it was done very well, and the cinematography was top notch. So yeah, 9.5 to a 10 would be the thing. As for like this season, probably like an 8, maybe a 7.5 overall.
Season wise, I really did enjoy this season. But yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go the same route. Like, this fucking season had balls.
Yeah, it didn't try to one up itself like many shows try to do with their seasons.
Many shows try to basically try and be the better than previous seasons, to the point where you watching it no, it's not.
And I think people need to stop being so, this episode was boring, it had zero action. Bruh, I don't mind zero action.
We're in a sci-fi fucking world.
Give me an hour-long episode, right? Give me an hour-long episode of a Jedi going through the Jedi archives and literally reading books.
I know people like action in that, but like, you've got to think about it this. Film and TV is an art form. It's about storytelling. It's not about the action or anything like that. Action's nice, but at the end of the day, still, it is about the story. It's about world building. It's about world building. It's about the characters and stuff like that. So you're gonna have to have moments where you get to learn who these characters are, and you've got to care about them. And this is why I love TV shows, because with TV shows, they go on for weeks and weeks to the point where you get to know the character, so that you like them and you care about them.
Week on week, sort of a little bit. I sort of get annoyed at the week on week like tune-in thing, because I'm sort of like, just give me it all in one go so that I can watch it all and get the
I
payoff.
want that, but I'm also on the side of, I'm also on the thing of, I sometimes hate binging, because I feel like I just can't do it.
I
But
hate
like,
binging shows that are long. Like
yeah,
if it's like a show that's got, let's say, 13 episodes in a season, and there's like, let's say, 6 seasons, I can do that very easily in like a few days. But if it's a show that's got like even 2 seasons that are 23 episodes long, it sort of
CW,
feels like a slog to get through all those seasons.
CW.
But Mando's one of the shows where if they did all 8 episodes on a single drop, people would only buy a month's worth of Disney Plus subscription, because people buy like the full year because they're like, oh, we get quite a lot in that year, plus we get 8 episodes of Mando that come over like 2 months. In fact, it is over 2 months. It's 2 months runtime for this show. It has been 2 months since it started.
I
That is
know
mental.
it is,
Um,
and I'm going on
but
holiday in like a month.
and like it's not that long until Secret Invasion. There's like
No,
a month and a bit.
like when I go on holiday on the 4th of June. I leave on Sunday, I believe, yeah. And I'm gone for 2 weeks. So I come back, I believe, the week after. I come back the week after, so I come back the week of the 12th. And then legit, rest of that week, the week after that the week after that on that Wednesday, Secret Invasion's out on 21st.
Really, really,
And
like
then it's my fucking birthday that Sunday and all. That Saturday, I mean.
it is mental the amount of wait time that we go through for these shows.
Yeah.
Like you're waiting a long time from pilot to
I think
finale.
Disney know the limit.
Yeah, Disney never give you more episodes than you're willing to watch,
Yeah,
unless it's She-Hulk, in which case
Disney basically choose the amount of episodes that you either people can stand watching for that many for so long. People that and who are willing to wait like a week or so because obviously they don't have breaks. And since it's streaming, they don't have to have breaks because it's streaming. They don't have to contend with other shows on the same platform. They don't have to contend with it. So that's why, like, with streaming and that, shows always come out at the same time. Like, some shows come out at the same time. You just watch it. But like, um, with CW, they're on Flash has had a 2 week break.
I'm so sad.
Like,
There's no like Superman and Lois is on a week
that's
break
why me and
now.
Will like really liked Stargirl, because Stargirl had 13 episodes in each season, and it didn't really have a break. It was short and never really had a break. And
And it died off too soon.
yeah, it ended too soon.
Season 4 of Stargirl went.
I'm gonna be so unhappy. I think Brett Bassinger should be James Gunn's first choice for Stargirl.
It depends when he gets to doing Stargirl.
If he wants to do Stargirl. The thing is with James Gunn as well doing DC is just the fact that I'm looking forward to it. I saw a video on TikTok and I was just like, someone was basically responding to a video that someone else made, complaining about who the fuck is that? We don't care about these characters. Give us Batman, give us Superman, and all this shit. And then this guy basically said everything I was saying, and he was saying, "You Zack Snyder fanboys are getting annoying." Because I'm sat there like, James Gunn. This is why I like James Gunn. He's doing two characters that everybody likes, Batman and Superman. He's doing them first, right? He's doing even Green Lanterns, as like shows and that. But he's also doing characters nobody knows about. And you know why? That's what he fucking does. Because he no one knew who Guardians of the general audiences never knew who Guardians of Galaxy were. Then what did he do? He made them a household name. But
And now that Jordan's got his little rant out of the way about how he hates Zack Snyder fans, anything else about The Mandalorian?
Sorry about that, guys. I just needed to get that out of my system. Yeah, I'm hoping season 4 isn't far away. I'm hoping it's like.
I hope we get a season 4.
I'm hoping we do.
I hope they don't go back on that, and I hope they don't go. We've never planned on doing a season 4. There's literally footage of him saying, "I'm already writing."
Yeah, it reminds me. It reminds me of what Kathleen Kennedy said, saying that
there's never been any plans for Kevin Feige.
Kevin Feige said he was going to do a Star Wars film, and then fucking Kathleen Kennedy came out and said there was never any plans, and I was like, "You said what?"
But of course, when season 4 inevitably gets announced, because I have hope for it. When it inevitably gets announced, me and Jordan will likely react to all news regarding
We are
it.
obviously with Secret Invasion. We are actually going to be starting our new review style, so look out for that, and then we'll do that for the next season of Mando, and we'll be doing that for Ahsoka.
Yes, we will. But I believe we'll end it there.
Yeah, if there's any news that comes out, guys, me and Will will cover it.
Yes, and we will react to any trailers.
And any trailers and stuff.
I also don't know. Are we putting all of these reviews into a playlist now that they're all done?
Yeah, I'm gonna be working. I'm gonna be at some point working on a playlist for everything now, because on the channel, the only playlist we've got is our separate playlist for our personal videos, our collab playlist, which is for when we do collaborative, our podcast playlist for our podcast, and then obviously the upload playlist. I am gonna spend some free time this week adding all of our Last of Us reviews in a playlist, and Mando reviews, and all of our trailer reactions and stuff like that.
And also our seasonal breakdowns of shows like Arrow,
and those.
Stargirl, Flash, whenever we get round to making those. Probably within these weeks leading up to Secret Invasion, there'll be a few more of those. Yeah,
if me and Will get watching Arrow Season 2 finished, we'll review it.
But I will outro us, because we've got to sing. So yeah, all that will be in a playlist eventually somewhere. If you have stumbled across this video and you did enjoy our little rants about people being idiotic around other media, but also how we discuss and talk about the premise of each episode, and basically our thoughts on how it's good in terms of world building and stuff like that, you can check out all those in the playlist. That'll be probably somewhere on screen if Jordan re-edits these to put them there. If not, they're on the channel. You can go and have a look. Other than that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I also want to
thank you to everybody who subscribed, and thank you for getting us to 90.
Indeed.
We've been growing really fucking fast.
Very fast.
And I really can't believe it, because my Spider-Man video that I did like weeks ago, months ago, is a fucking like 12k and something.
I'll blow your mind, Jordan. You know that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse trailer reaction that we did 27 views.
Yeah. So we're doing really well. I'm just very humbled to the fact that we're actually doing so good, and I can't wait to see where the channel goes. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where things lead with the channel, and if it succeeds.
Yeah, likewise for myself as well. So yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff that YouTube's asked you to do, all that garbage that YouTube's asked you to do. I'm messing up my own outro here. What else do I say? Yeah, I've been one of your hosts, Azteral.
I've been your host, Slasher.
This has been Mandalorian Season Finale Review, Chapter 24, The Return. And as always, remember, this is the way.
This is the way.
Or this is the way.
We Forget 1,000 things every day, pal. Make sure this is one of them.
It's over, Anakin!